and they think he took off.
Yeah, but then he pops up and then jumps
and then
over a
becomes
wall.
John Rambo.
Hey!
Hello!
Everyone, welcome to another amazing episode of Unhinged Boys FX Movie Reviews.
I forgot the name. No, not
did.
really.
I never did.
Neither did I.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's, we're going to be talking about...
28 days later.
Woo!
You don't know how hard it was for me to get this on DVD. Because
Yeah.
everything now, because the new movie coming out and it being out of print, is like $200.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Or like $80. And I wasn't willing to pay that. But I found it for a steal.
Steel.
Let's talk about it.
So let's talk about it. Anyway, we're going to talk about the plot, and then we're going to talk about what we like and the ratings. So, basically 28 days later, right?
Yeah. It features, I'm going to probably mess up his name. Cillian Murphy?
Yeah, he's the guy that plays Peaky Blinders. There's a lot of other, like, different...
Scarecrow in the
actors.
Nolan movies.
Yeah, there's different actors. There's, like, the first Doctor Strange guy. The guy who plays the first Doctor Strange in, like, the...
Doctor Who, buddy.
Doctor Who, not Doctor Strange.
You're a fan of the show and
I don't know. I still...
Marvel?
Marvel. I love Marvel. Marvel's great. Let's talk about Marvel.
No.
Anyway, it starts out with our main character waking up after being in the hospital for, I guess, 28 days.
Yeah. Well, there was a... Well, it doesn't start there. It starts with...
Oh, yeah. It starts out with a bunch of, like...
animal activists.
Animal activists.
Break into a facility to rescue a bunch of monkeys. And
then the monkeys turn out to have, like, some sort of, like, virus in them.
And then they just let them out. And then they attack. Why the fuck would you let out a bunch of chimps?
And then...
They are violent.
And then shit happens. By the way, this whole movie takes place in, I think, London, like in Europe and shit. So.
Also, in our opinion, that should not have been the first scene at all.
Yeah, the scene where they break out the monkey. That should.
Yeah.
It should have been like a flashback later to be like, man, what happened?
Yeah.
Because it would have been more interesting to wonder what happened.
Like, why is nobody around? But that's just a tiny gripe.
Yeah. Anyway, our main character wakes up and then starts wandering around the city, and then it finally goes to like a church where apparently there's a bunch of undead people.
Yeah, and one of them makes
well,
the
not
funniest,
undead.
Well, infected.
They're all infected because they're all technically not zombies. We gotta put that out there.
But one of them makes like a really funny face. I don't know why.
He's like,
who?
And then he beats up a priest and then runs away.
He feels really bad about it.
Yeah.
And then the infected all chase him. And then we meet up with our other main character. And
main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend, I think.
Oh yeah, I forgot they beat up with him before the other people.
And they're just throwing Molotovs at him. Not Sicilian, but the infected, and
they're just tossing.
Then again,
and then they basically save him from dying. And they're like, we're survivors. Things of bad days have been going on.
What are you doing? You know? And he's like, I've been in the hospital. I don't know. I woke up after I got hit by a car on a bike.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
And they're like, okay. And so he's like, I'm going back to my parents' house. And they're like, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
and then he goes back to his parents' house. And he finds that, well, he finds them, but they're not infected.
Basically, our survivors, I guess they stay in the house for the night.
Yeah.
And then our main character, he's like looking outside and
he's watching
like a flash. Yeah, he's got like not a flash. He's like watching stuff on the TV
on a projector, I think.
On a projector.
And
then all of a sudden, a zombie infected shows up.
And one of them crashes through the ceiling, from what I remember. And
It goes through the window.
They're attacking him. I don't know how he didn't get like bit or like scratched or whatever. But
yeah, but one of the survivors does. One of the people that save him.
Well, we don't know that. He just like shows up with a cut or whatever on his arm, and the other main character, the girl, I forget her name, but
the girl's like, "You're infected." And
she's like, "Wait a minute." Him. Yeah, and we thought she was just cutting his arm off or something to maybe save him.
No, he dead now. So we move on. And then I don't know, something happens and they're gonna chase those zombies again, and then they go into like an apartment building, and then they meet up with our other characters who's like
father and daughter.
There's a father and daughter. Like the father has like a bunch of riot gear, and he stops zombies from going up the staircase.
He's like, "Would you like some tea?"
And then they all go to the planet. He's like, "You want the tea?" And then he's like, "This is great, survivors.
This is great."
And they all make like a plan, basically saying like, we can't stay here, so we have to leave. So they get like a car, and then they get going, and then they end up getting stopped by like a tunnel because there's a bunch of
and they defy gravity
somehow, because the father's just like, screw it, and then
he goes
forward.
Up over a solid like just wall of steel.
He just goes over the cars. I don't know how, just somehow, and then finally, right before they get off all the cars,
the wheel busts or pops.
The wheel just pops, and then it's just like, oh, well, we're screwed. But not really, because we have another tire, so they start fixing it.
Yeah, in the tunnel.
And then immediately, because they made so much noise, there's like a bunch of infected coming their way. And they're like, go, get the tire moving! And then they finally fix the tire. So anyway, they arrive at the military base.
Yeah, we're just going to skip ahead a little bit.
And then it turns out that the military base is abandoned. There's nobody there, a bunch of dead people. And then the dad's pissed.
And he dies in the stupidest way.
Yeah, it's just like a body up high somewhere.
And he throws a thing at a crow, and a piece of blood comes down and lands right in his eye.
Yeah, like he kicks the wall, and then like the blood hits him in the eye. And then he gets affected. They have to kill him. Well, no, they don't have to kill him, because soldiers show up and kill the dad instead.
Yeah.
And then the soldiers are like, oh, awesome, more survivors. Follow us. And then they go to like this mansion or whatever that they somehow found, and they basically put like spotlights and mines all over the place.
And for the next half of the movie, they're basically just showing them around this place, and slowly you start to realize that these soldiers are probably a little bit dysfunctional.
Yeah, because basically what happens is that the leader or whatever, he like is convinced for some reason that the world is ended.
Yeah.
And that there's no one else, and they're the only survivors, and that they gotta repopulate. So basically,
and anytime you hear that, that's not good.
Our main character doesn't like that, so
no one would.
Tries to fight against it, and then like they basically say screw you, and then like try to execute him, but he escapes, and then starts wreaking havoc on the mansion.
I do want to say that his escape was a little bit funny.
Yeah.
Because they took him out into this field of like bodies or whatever, and like they were gonna like, I guess, shoot him, and there was another soldier guy that was kind of helping them that they also shot first, but
yeah,
the soldiers start fighting, and as soon as they turn their back, Cecilian Murphy is just like, woo, and jumps into the body, and they think he took off.
Yeah, but then he pops up and then jumps,
and then becomes John Rambo.
Yeah, and then basically like
it starts heavily raining. It looks kind of cool.
He gets a bunch of affected to attack the mansion. He lets one of the affected that he had in there free. They had in the mansion, and then he just starts killing people because like they also think he's infected because he doesn't have a shirt and shit, and it's kind of cool. And then I guess towards the end of this fight, he ends up killing most of everybody. Okay. And then he finds one of the women he was with.
Yeah.
And he kills the guy that was like guarding her.
And she almost...
Yeah, she almost like kills him.
Yeah. Because she thinks he's an infected.
Because this guy just popped out of fucking nowhere and then just attacked him like an infected.
And he's just standing in the shadows like...
Yeah. And basically, she realized that he's not infected, and he's like, alright, we need to get out of here. Then they find the girl, and then they're about to leave, and then the one guy, the leader, shows up and is like, you guys aren't going anywhere. No, wait, no, my bad, I forgot. They go outside to go to a car, and then the guy's there. The leader's there. He's like, got a gun. He's like, I'm so disappointed. It shoots the main character, and then the girl, I guess, gets in the car and then backs up the car into the mansion. So like the affected
can grab the guy,
can break through the back window, and then like grabs the guy, and then she goes forward, and then they all get in the car, and then they get off while the guy's getting murdered.
Yeah.
And then the next scene's basically like a montage of them getting him into like a hospital and trying to like fix him up and shit. And then finally,
why the fuck are you yawning so much?
I don't know. I woke up an hour ago.
Wake the fuck up!
I'm trying. Anyway, finally, we go to our ending where our main character wakes up, and we also see that there's zombies, but they're like starving to death.
Yeah.
And then like the one girl's like sewing something.
Yeah.
And then the one girl, the other girl shows up, is like, guys, the plane's here. And then they're like,
jet.
yeah, the jet. And they're like, oh shit, the jet. And then they go outside, and then they have like this whole thing that says hello.
Yeah.
And then like the jet goes above them, and
yeah.
And then one of them's like, I think they see us this time. And then it ends. And that's 28 days later!
I give it an 8.
I give it an 8 too.
So, excited for the new movie.
Excited. Exciting.
Hopefully I can get my hands on 28 Weeks Later and we can review that.
Yeah. And
yeah.
That's it, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Check out over here.
Oh, yeah.
Check out over there. Out on our Patreon.